Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Reviewing Comics with me, your host, Alexander Turbin. Today is 4th of July, so we were going to enjoy ourselves some Captain America War Against Drugs comic book. But before we get into that, I'd like to show you some of my own work. This is Random Access, hot off the presses, printed today, and this is going out to all my patrons, and it is a little bit late. It's like a week and a half late. I'm going to try to get back on track this month, but with an awesome cover by Jeff Jeff Bartrand. Sorry, Jeff. And is it Jeff? But anyway, fantastic cover. I love the power in this. It's the Death Knight. It's got super power. It's got awesome stuff going on. And we've got a backup story by Paul Cortjohn and also by Jeremy Duncan. So we've got some awesome stuff going on in this issue. And as always, you can pick these up at patreon.com/Alexander Turbin or alexanderturbin.com, or you can message me at alexturbin0441 at Yahoo or alexturbin04401 at Instagram. But yeah, if you get these at Patreon, it's $3 a month. And but if you get them individually at my website, it's $1.50 plus shipping. And so yeah, like I said, there's a lot of cool stuff. There's an extra 4 pages in this one, and I am actually opening up random access to pretty much everybody and everybody and anybody. And so if you're an artist and you'd like to see your stuff in random access, please let me know. And yeah, so everybody, thank you for your support, and we will be making more and more stuff. I'm going to make another video just going through the random access. I'm going to start doing that every month. Where the new random access, I'm just going to go through it and kind of talk about it a little bit. And I think I might actually start with the first ones that I've made, but also the newest ones. So we're going to start doing that, which could be fun. But this is Captain America Goes to War Against Drugs. And it's one of those comics. It doesn't even have a number. It doesn't have anything. This is actually John Romita Sr. doing the cover. But this was made in 1990. So it's really not that old. I kind of thought this was in, mid 80s or something. But this is a joint venture with the FBI and produced in cooperation with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And it's one of those comics where it's just like, I don't know if this was free or it was it must have been given out by the FBI to kids or whatever, where they go to schools and they just kind of give them out. I can only assume. But it's got this little blurb in the front from the FBI. President NYSALU. I don't know what that, New York State Association of Life Underwriters. I don't know what that is. But it's basically saying that they did not want this to be like a war on drugs kind of book where it's against the drug dealers and it's browbeating the druggies and stuff. And they just kind of wanted to show that there's a place to get help for people who are addicted to drugs and stuff like that. And that's really kind of what they did. It's fascinating. I live in Maine, and we have a marijuana law where marijuana is free for recreational use. So pretty much down every road is a marijuana dispensary. I don't know how many other states are legalized now, but I would assume that every state is going to become legal within the next decade or so for every state. They seem to, they make a lot of money. I'm sure that brings in a lot of tax stuff. So I'm not pro or anti marijuana either way, because I simply don't do it. It makes me tired and paranoid. So why would I do that? So yeah, it's just this basic little anti-drug book that I had, and I was looking at some of the Captain America stuff that I really wanted to do a Captain America thing on 4th of July because of course he's Captain America, and I was going to do this one that I have of the Punisher. He captures the Punisher, and Captain America beats him. I can't remember what issue it is. Whether it's, I don't think it's actually in Captain America. I think it might be either in a Civil War or it might be in a Punisher actually. Crossover with Civil War or something like that, where I think it's at some point the Punisher takes over as Captain America, or they were thinking about it or something like that. And so they have this great repertoire where he the Punisher just has so much massive respect for the Captain America that Cap can punch him in the face, and the Punisher will not fight back. He just doesn't fight back. He's just like, I'm gonna take it. You're a captain. You just do what you're gonna do, and it's really an awesome scene. I kind of wish I had that. But I found this other little thing that I don't know how many of these are out there and how many of you guys have seen them. But here it is. So we're going to dive into it. We're not going to give it a review. I'm not going to give something like this a review. It is written by Peter David, which is awesome. Pencils by Sal Velluto. Inks by Keith Williams. Lettering by Rick Parker. Color by Bob Sharon and editor Mac McLaurin. It starts out with these aliens looking at Captain America. They've got cameras everywhere, apparently, with the aliens. It's cool that this is crystal technology taken from Stargate Atlantis, or the Stargate program TV shows, where they use crystalline stuff to power their stuff, or use to create stuff. Captain America's jumping into this drug creating den, and they have machine guns, and they're shooting at Captain America, but he's got his shield, and he's smashing them all, and they're making some kind of drugs. It never says what kind of drugs they are, whether it's I don't know, heroin or crystal meth or whatever. It never actually says. So it could be any kind of drug that he's busting in on. They're like, we can stop him. He's just got this crummy shield. And Cap actually says stuff like, people have called me other things in the past. They've called me old. They've called me old-fashioned. They've called me all of these different things. But he says, I would tell you more things that people have called me, but you're all unconscious, so I'm not going to. He busts this drug den up with all these drug makers, and the FBI shows up. But then these aliens, they're still looking in on Captain America, and they're looking in on the drug stuff. They never actually show the aliens, which is kind of cool, because it would just kind of be a letdown. But then they're talking about how they're going to invade Earth, but if they're going to invade Earth, they have to know who their enemy is. And the commander of the ship compares them to another group of aliens that, yes, they did obliterate them. They didn't subjugate them, which is what they really wanted to do. They obliterated them because these other aliens were so tenacious and so independent that they would not be subjugated, so they had to obliterate them. And he's thinking that the humanity is basically the same thing, and that they're not going to be able to take them as prisoners or slaves. They're going to have to kill them all. And so is that even worth the effort to do that? Should they just go and try to find another race? So they've only seen Captain America. And one of the things Captain America says, which is kind of stupid here, he says, I don't even have any superpowers. But later on, he says he has the strength of 20 men. So which is it, Cap? You have strength of 20 men, or you don't have any superpowers? I personally think that, he obviously is super strong. So does Captain America have superpowers? Yes, he does, in my opinion. Any Captain America fans out there want to rebut, please let me know in the comment section. And if you think he has superpowers, or if you don't. But they're talking about what it would take to subjugate the human race, and they're going to take these different individuals. It says 5 individuals, but it only focuses in on one of them. And they're going to look at their lives and see if they're easily manipulated and easily controlled, and they're going to actually try to get one of them hooked on drugs. So they go and they're just talking, and they're showing this drug dealer, and I think they take over his life or something. And so I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I missed this whole page. I don't think so, though. But this is a kid who really loves Captain America, and he asked Captain America to go to this baseball game. But there's this other kid who's a pitcher. I'm not really entirely sure what this kid has to do with anything. He's just kind of there in the background, being a Captain America, I don't know, spy or or he's an alien spy. I don't think he's a bad guy though. He's just kind of watches in on the what's going on with the drug kid. So here's this pitcher. I think he's a high schooler or college or something, and he's like a phenom. He's a super awesome pitcher, and everybody loves him. Everybody thinks he's going to do great. He's going to go to the Major League Baseball and win all kinds of World Series and stuff like that. But he's emotionally messed up, and he feels all of this pressure, and the only way he can think that he can cope with it is by taking drugs. And so the alien dresses up or masquerades as this regular guy, and he offers the kid drugs. And it's not like it's not, I don't know. This really isn't how drugs are bought and sold and stuff. But it's showing you what it is. So I guess there could be stuff, and I still don't know who this other kid is. I don't even know. I don't even know who that kid is. Some friend of Captain America who said Captain America would show up at the baseball game. This kid, he's thinking about the drugs, or he took drugs before for one of the games, and it made him feel a little bit better. So he's like, he encounters this other guy who is an alien. The alien gives him more drugs. Could be cocaine, like I said. We don't know what drugs it is. And then he lets him go, and he is fine. It's the next day or wherever, and it's the baseball game, and the kid is messed up on drugs, the pitcher, and he's just like he's throwing garbage. He's not throwing anything good. And the catcher is saying, what's going on? You got to throw the heat. You got to throw, as well as you can. You're throwing garbage. And here's this kid again, and he's talking about how Captain America didn't make it to the game. Maybe they're pen pals or something. I don't know. Didn't make it to the game, but maybe he's not in costume, so maybe he is at the game. So the batter comes up, and the kid's on drugs, the pitcher's on drugs, and he's all shaky, he's messed in the head, and he bunks him in the head with a fastball. And anybody that knows baseball knows that is super dangerous. You could really get hurt. And he gets knocked out, and everybody runs towards him and everything. And the kid, and actually Captain America does come by, and this is one of the funny scenes. There's always a lot of funny scenes going on in these free giveaway anti-drugs or fire rescue or whatever these little comic books are. He pushes everybody back, gives them some air, calls for the ambulance. This is one of the funny things. He throws the shield across the street at some police officers to get their attention, and then the shield magically just comes back to him. I know that like Spider-Man in Civil War is like, this shield doesn't even obey physics. So, basically that's what it is. Captain America's shield does not obey physics. It just does whatever it does. It's like Mjolnir, where it just comes back to him no matter what. So the kid is talking about how he's on drugs. He admits it, and how his head's all fuzzy, and the control of his fastball wasn't really anything. So the other guy from the other team, starts yelling at him and saying, you could have killed him. What are you saying? Why are you on drugs and all of this stuff? They end up going to the hospital. The kid is in the emergency room. He's really messed up, but they're actually talking about the kid who's on drugs. And they're like, the parents are like, it's my fault. We put too much pressure on him. If he would have come and talked to us if he had thought that I wasn't going to yell at him and stuff like that. And the coach is basically saying the same thing. If I didn't put so much pressure on him, maybe something would have changed. And Cap just pipes up and says, we can't do all of this double thinking, double talking kind of stuff. We have to just go in there and show our support to him. And this is really one of the cool things about this little thing. It's not about, like I said, it's not about browbeating the people who are on addicted drugs, because let's face it, there are a lot of addicted people, and I think that's one of the huge reasons for homelessness in the United States now is the fentanyl thing is really a big thing, but it's all kinds of other stuff, all kinds of other drugs that just make it impossible for people to own jobs and have jobs and own a place to live and all of that stuff, which is really, really horrible. But then they go and they're going to go into the hospital, but he's taken off. The kid who was on drugs has taken off, and he's gone, and he's going to go. I don't know where he's going. Oh yeah, he's going to the drug dealer. He goes to the drug dealer. The drug dealer officer offers him some more drugs, and he punches him in the face. His face falls off. Falls apart. He realizes that he's an alien, and he kind of just runs off. The other team actually finds him, and they've still got their baseball bats, and they're really pissed off that their friend had his head smashed in by a baseball by this kid, and they're going to teach him a lesson or two. And so they just start smashing him with the baseball bats, and give him a bloody lip. Usually they don't show red blood in comic books, but I guess since this is an anti-drug kind of thing, and there's no Comics Code Authority either, so they can show the red blood and not have it be black. Captain America obviously shows up because superheroes just show up where they're needed, when they're needed. Doesn't matter. It's really kind of amazing how Captain America shows up, or any superhero just shows up when they're needed. It's part of the superhero comic book mystique, I guess, which is kind of one of the things that I don't love about superheroes. Is for me, superheroes have to be you have to understand what motivates them. You have to understand their powers. You have to understand where they got their powers. It has to be somewhat believable. And like, just the fact that Superman, super strong, can do all this stuff. It's the fact that he gains energy from the yellow sun and loses energy from his red sun or whatever. That just enhances the enjoyment of superheroes for me. Just their weaknesses, explaining their powers and stuff like that. Just for me personally, that makes it that much, that much more interesting of a genre, because superheroes is a genre. I hate it when people are like, just say comic books are superheroes. That's not true at all. There's like war comic books. There's romance comic books. There's a million other kind of comic books, as you guys already know. And superheroes is just a genre. You can say you don't like superheroes and love comic books. And that's just, sorry for that rant. That's just the thing that I think about sometimes. So Captain America breaks up them smashing the pitcher's head in with baseball bats and stuff, and browbeats them to go away and stuff. And he kind of just yells at Captain America, saying, you're going to give me this anti-drug story, and you're going to tell me all this stuff, how drugs are bad, and I'm a loser, and blah blah blah, and all of this stuff. And Captain America just comes back with it and says, "No, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say I'm here for you. We're here for you, and that's it." And he says, "That's it." And so that's it. That's the crux of the comic book, and it just kind of ends up with the pitcher telling Cap that the drug dealer was an alien or a creature or something. And Cap, doesn't say he doesn't believe him, but he's like, it doesn't matter if I believe you or not. And the pitcher says, you're right. I have to take responsibility for my actions and for taking drugs. And Cap's like, yes, you have to do that. And then he walks back to the alleyway where the drug dealer was, sees the broken face, and he realizes that the kid actually was telling the truth. So it's one of these comic books is it is what it is. The storyline is kind of cheesy. The art isn't. I mean, it's good. It's good. It's professional. It's Marvel professional quality. It's pretty good. I never had to go back and reread anything. So the narrative art is pretty good. And I really kind of do like the splash page. It's really pretty cool of Captain America. And so, but it is what it is. It's one of those free anti-drug flyers. I've got actually a lot of these, or a few of these, that I'm going to go through, because it's kind of interesting to look back at comic book history and see some of the things that not everybody has, not everybody's seen, not anybody is really truly interested in this stuff. But it's kind of cool. It's 4th of July. It's a cool little video. Captain America. I like Captain America a lot more than I used to before the movies, but I thought the Captain America movie was fantastic. If you disagree with me, let me know. But I did enjoy this book, and it was what it is. It's not the greatest, most fantastic thing in the world, but it really wasn't a hard thing to read either. It was kind of enjoyable. So, if you like this kind of stuff, let me know. If you like Captain America, let me know. in the comment section. If you're new to the channel, this is not the kind of stuff I normally go over. I usually go over indie comics from the 70s, 80s, 90s, black and whites, but also really just any kind of unique, unusual thing is really what I like to delve into. So if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, hitting the notification bell, and giving me a thumbs up. I always appreciate that. But even more than that, I love the comments. I love talking about comic books with you guys and interacting with you guys about comic books. It's my life's work, my life's ambition to create more comics and to create good comics, hopefully. But we've got more videos coming up. We've got the weekend coming up. Like I said, it's 4th of July on Friday. And hopefully we'll do a video with Joe and talk about some cool stuff. And then next week we'll have even more indie comics to review and go over and stuff like that. So I hope you come back and check it out. And so have a safe and happy 4th of July, and hope you're all doing great and not partying too much, and getting some sun and hitting the pools and the swimming pools and the rivers and ocean and everything, and having a great time. And thanks a lot for checking my video out. And as always, keep on creating.